Hello and welcome to Quick Looks at the Casual Hour, where today we will be taking a look at Industries of Titan. My name is Bobby, and joining me for this one is Chase Kinnicky. Chase, how are you doing for this quick look?
I'm doing great. I love good wordplay. So switching Titans of Industry out for Industries of Titan,
Yeah,
good start.
good start. You don't know anything about this game, do you?
The only things I know, it's made by Brace Yourself Games, the makers of Cadence of Hyrule, Phantom Brigade, Crypt of the Necrodancer, those guys,
Oh yeah.
and that it just came out. This came out January 31st of this year. Other than that, zero idea. What I don't even know what this kind of game is. What are we playing here?
Well,
When I see Industries of Titan and oh god, and now I see this. Bobby, did you bring me into another fucking factory builder?
I brought you into a city builder.
Okay.
So,
Is it like a city builder on the beat or anything?
no.
Okay.
It does have a fucking awesome soundtrack though. Industry of Titan is an absolute city builder, but it is kind of a hybrid. There's a little RTS, not necessarily RTS, I should say, maybe tower defense, but it also has some optimization. I don't know how I don't want to call it a factory builder just to keep you on your toes here, but you are doing that.
I like the look. Just immediately looking at this, like this gives me having this isometric view gives me some SimCity 2000 vibes.
Yes.
I like the futuristic nature of the city. It's got some cyberpunk feel to it. I imagine. Well, I mean, from the title screen, Titan. We're off the moon of Saturn, right?
Yep. That's where we're at.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna pause everything because there's a lot to take in here, and I'm gonna do my best to keep this pretty loose. So I've put in probably like 7 or 8 hours in total. I've gone through the tutorial a couple different times because I figured out like optimization of stuff. This is the farthest I've gotten into the game itself. I am playing on a campaign, and you are working with a council to essentially industrialize Titan and work on shipping minerals out and all that fun stuff. So let's start with like a few key areas. Let's up here at the top. You've got a council communications area. You are bringing in citizens, and your citizens are what are netting you your income. You also have employees, and you can convert citizens into employees, and your employees will do all the various tasks that you have. I just unlocked the ship port, so I actually have a whole ship, and we'll get into that in a second. And your spaceport migrations. This is how you build out the people coming in here. And it's on a timer, so it has cooldowns. You are using influence, so you are gaining influence. You can see I have 65 out of 100 right now. Influence is, generated based off of just what your number of industry points are, like it's your overall footprint are leading into that, and you're spending your influence on expansion but also people coming in here. So like I can grab, there's 3 people I can pick up on this ship. They're coming from Mars, it looks like. They have no resources with them, but it cost me only 2 influence, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab them, and now that puts me up to 38 of my 70 available. You can expand housing, all that shit you would expect to bring more citizens in, but you also need to build out monetization areas for them to actually work and bring in your income, which brings us over here to our credits. So you can see there's a whole sleep cycle and all that shit for people. Workers don't have to sleep. The game does focus a bit on like a tongue-in-cheek, like some of the not cutscenes, but the landing page images and shit when you're loading in are just like terrible. Like citizens make money by watching ads all day. Like it's a dystopian. Like it's not great.
Would you put it in the same category as like a tone of like a hard space shipbreaker?
Yeah, I think it's maybe a little bit more desolate, not quite as hopeful, for the citizens at least. But yes, it's somewhere between like that and a Portal and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
The game really focuses in on minerals and isotopes. Those are the two things that you're using to build and expand. There's a cost for those things. Also artifacts. You'll find there's old runes that you can see spread out through here. And there's two things that I wanted to call out. There's this is the territory, that yellow line, and this is also your city. You can expand both by claiming it. So like this is an empty plot. There's absolutely nothing there. It cost me 4 influence. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that one, and I'll do the same thing here. Now you can see my city is a bit further out.
So what's the difference exactly? Like it's the types of buildings you can place in these two.
Yeah, anything in the blue,
circles?
I can put stuff down. I have to essentially survey and then claim anything that's in the territory. So this is just unclaimed land that we have the ability to get. And there's a few different things to think about when you're doing this. So you can see my power grid right now. Like I've only got power that goes out this far. I can expand that out. So even within my city, I don't have full power. The other thing right now is my transportation network. I've been working on building this out. I don't quite understand it, but I have been laying down some roads because I found a mine back there.
Okay.
You are creating pollution, and you can see the area where we're doing that. Yeah. I guess that's X thing is a naturally occurring substance on here, and you can see the hot spots where I've depleted it in my city, so I'm expanding out to get more of it, and I'm working on this crevice over here, and that's what you're going to use for fuel. That's just a natural gas essentially on Titan. Okay. And then my population, so you can see like where most of the people are living. That's like your overlays that you can hang out with. So if I speed this back up, you can see that people are out here doing their task. I can change what they're focusing on just by dragging and dropping this. So if I wanted to edit, like, hey, focus on constructing, I've got 66 resources that need to be moved. So I'm just going to drag that up really quick. And that just causes a prioritization for them. You can, like, if I wanted to build something new, like I could drop, like if I wanted to build this factory here, I could add a factory and then prioritize that. So the other thing I wanted to call out, and where I really have found myself enjoying this, is you build these things out that are, you got your power. I've got storage. This is the actual headquarters that you start with. You can connect buildings together and you can build them up 3 levels each, and they can output more. But let's take a look at what that looks like.
Okay.
So you can build out, and that's what you have to do. Like I've essentially built inside this factory a power and fuel supply, and that's what all these are.
You placed, you placed all of these pieces inside. Okay.
So I have this pulled up right now, but if I move that down, here's your devices. So they've got it broken down by energy, fuel, storage, and then resources. So the first few are, hey, you just need to build some habitat pods, and everything is either like going to be a 2x2 or like this little energy one. It shows you the placement you'll need on a grid. Let me see if I have here we go. So I started this up here, and I can probably dismantle all of this because I've depleted all of the natural gas substance here, as you can see by this cloud here. Like I've depleted it. So when you build a factory floor, you can start by, I need to add in generators. Let me pause this so I'm not actually like doing things. These costs, it'll show you what your minerals will be. So I need 10 minerals to build a medium generator. It puts out 6 energy. If you look down here, this grid that we have, because I'm on grid 3, it's showing you what your energy info is, and the whole thing is just keeping this stuff in the green. So if I backed back out of this, you can see here I'm actually putting out more energy than what I actually need. And so there's energy banks you can build out, like this one here. This was a ruin that used to be a battery, and I just restored it. So now that can store up to 9,000 energy. So if I upgrade something that is giving me energy, it's going to go offline temporarily, and my batteries are a backup that just keeps things running until this is back up and running.
Okay.
These pylons, you can see how they're all kind of interconnected this way. Inside any factory or building or floor, if I come back in here, I'll show you this. On floor 2, you can see that I had no power here. There's nothing generating power. These are just fuel. But over here in the corner, they give you these energy bridges. And so in between floors, because on my first floor, I have all this power that's producing it. If I come up here now, I can just set this in the corner, and that's relaying that energy up to this floor now.
Sure. Okay.
And then if I go back out to our city grid, these energy pylons are pulling from that grid as well, and then shooting that wirelessly to other areas. So if I wanted to expand things out, well, I just put I can either put a whole ass energy plant, which I didn't have those unlocked yet. And that's the cool thing. You can, using your currency, you can see that I haven't unlocked an air purifier. If I wanted to do so, I could click on this, and that would now allow me to place it and build it. This grid can be upgraded, and that can go to a tier 2 grid. And if I wanted to, I could put another energy plant in front of it and then hit connect, and that would allow them to become 1. And then if I have a level 1, I can put another level 1 and connect it, and then I can upgrade it from there. So like, this is a level 3 factory. This here's a level 2 connected factory, so I can go up one more level. This is a level 3. So on this one over here, this is really more about, I got power here for it, but these are the habitats where people are coming in. This is just where I'm making money and having people come. So like, these are the monetization stations where people will be hanging out, but I don't have any citizens.
I love to hang out at the monetization station.
Yeah, I mean, look, they don't have much of a say-so in this, but I don't have a lot of citizens right now, so I just bought all those with my influence.
I wonder why.
Well, that's the other piece of it.
Who wouldn't want to come to Titan and enjoy the monetization stations? There's
things that you can do to improve that. I have not committed a lot of money into it, as you can see. So my city livability is not great. So as I've hired in or brought in more citizens, I can come back out here now. And I've got, this is like a residential area. So let's go in. And if I go to population.
Can you just go into any building the way you did your factories?
Not every one of them. So I can't go into an energy pylon, and I can't go into residential. But any factory I build, you can do that. Now this is really cool. Unfortunately, I've been spending a lot, and I'm in a bit of a crisis right now on getting these. This mine has all my minerals, and I'm trying to get more of those. So I've been storing all of this. I'm trying to understand the road network, because I've built out the transport hubs. I can see everything's connected as it should be. I've even got industrial storage on all this, but I don't know how to get everything from here over to my factory, because I've got level 1 minerals, and the whole process of that, this is where I really like the automation. So I'm not trying to get like too confusing with it, but power on the first floor, this is the whole processing facility. So I've built out processors, and I'm taking level 1 here and converting it to level 2, because level 2 allows me to build more with less resources. So then on floor 3, I have this going from a level 2 to a level 3. So you've got your storage container, which I have set to be level 2s, that go into this input module that goes through this processor, that goes to this output module, and goes to this here. So these are all level 3s, but this is completely full. So I'm not taking those anywhere right now, but I could be spending them if I wanted to do so. And that's what we have up here. So I've got, if I click on this, it goes to the different levels that I have. You see how it's like moving through those?
Uh-huh.
And now this is just my total minerals. So if I come back out from a building perspective, we can start to give that quality of life. Because look, I care about my citizens. Despite what you might think, I need them. So if I go to population, let's get a conversion center. How much money do I have? 2,000. We'll do a park because, you know, I got to be nice to them. So now I can build this park here. And if I wanted to,
I imagine the park also helps with pollution.
let's see here. This will.
Is that what that radius around it means? Is that it is?
I think the radius is what areas of like a habitat will benefit from this park from a happiness standpoint.
I see. Okay.
So I'm building the park out. I'm going to prioritize that, so they'll start to build that for us. And then the other thing that I feel would be beneficial here for us is also an office, because again, I might give them a park, but I want my money. So now I'm going to place that.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to allow me to build those after this. So our folks are building this out, and that's all good and well.
Okay.
I want you to.
Sorry, I got a couple questions. About how long do you think you've put into this to get to a city this big?
I've put a total of 8 hours into this game, roundabout. This here is probably a 3 hour ish experience. And look, I've got 8 hours of trial and error, and I am kind of feeling my way through a lot of this. I understand the principles of automation. It's just knowing how to get certain, like, what do certain things have to connect to in order for that to work.
Sure, or like, yes, where should you build a thing to get the maximum optimization out of it? I get that. Do you feel like this is a game where you're going to be consulting some YouTube tutorials or looking for some guides online to find, especially when you went into like one of your factories?
Yep.
That is so dense in there that I feel like I'd want somebody to say, hey, here's a good way to set up a factory, and just give you a little tutorial in that. Or does the game do that? The
game's pretty good about it. So like up here, this just happened actually while we were hanging out. So when you're first starting it, you have all these advisors, and they give you beneath it, they're like, hey, you need to build a storage facility. And it's like, it will not clear until you do it. So there's some really good voice acting that comes with it, with all these characters that are advising you on how to basically run your city. And if you need to be consulted on like next steps, as I've gotten through that piece of it, well, I can't talk to somebody right now. Let me get through what he's saying. I can come up here.
I mean, you were talking over it, but I kind of like that voice acting. It wasn't that was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, check this out. So like, here is a way to increase our credits.
You need to increase your credits by building monetization stations and offices. The council likes to see returns on our investments, after all.
So everybody has like a purpose to play, from like making money or bringing things in. Let me continue to add some more folks here to help with making that money.
Now you also mentioned there's like a tower defense element to this too. I'm guessing that has something to do with that rebel camp thing in the top right.
Yeah, and that's an area that I need to invest in a bit more. So let's talk through that. Over here, I have a defense turret built. It covers that much of my city, so I'm at a point now where I'm pretty weak. However, I did get this shipyard, and this is a thing all in itself. So above our city, let me go back out of here. This is part of the military. So I've got shipyard, defense turret, and a command center. Command center is what allows you to expand this yellow bar out further. So I have one here, and that's allowed me to go out further and check out more stuff. Really quick before I show you about that, like, you see how I have all these ruins that are in the yellow? I can start to click on these and hit survey. This doesn't cost me anything. So we'll do this a few times. And while that's doing that, I'll come back in here and show you this shipyard. So I've got this ship that I have now above my shipyard. I can come into this, and let's select a ship. So now you've got a whole element of building out a hull that you can use here for it. So if I wanted to grab one of these, I'm pretty low on minerals, so who cares? Like, just for this, I'll show you what it looks like.
Okay.
So if I choose this, now we've got a whole ship to build. Unfortunately,
oh geez,
yeah, it gets wild. So if I come over here, I don't know if it's gonna even let me build anything right now because we're so broke. Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
This feels like it, at least to me, and you've been playing for 8 hours, like you said. You have 3 hours into this city specifically. I I feel like just seeing this, and it's only been what 10 minutes for me. I feel like I'd get lost in the sauce on this immediately.
It is a lot. So really the first few hours of the game when you're doing a campaign, you're really only in a spot like kind of like if I can tighten up the camera here, this is kind of what you're doing right here.
Yeah, you'd have like a 3x3 space or something like that.
Yeah. So your factory, like you had mentioned, hey, did you consult anything when you were first doing it? You have your headquarters, and this is the first thing I built. And they start you off with one container that's over here in the corner, and I added in what I thought would be enough to really optimize and build some stuff out. So I built in 2 habitat pods. I have a couple monetization stations.
I like the guy in the yellow jacket just jamming out in your monetization station.
Well, he's watching probably a really shitty thing on TV here. Yeah, he's watching some ads. He likes it. I have it on the. This is what they typically look like. So they're not really jamming out as much as they're probably having a hard time standing up.
Oh, okay.
But if we make them jam, it makes me feel better too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I built this, and then on floor 2, I expanded on some of my power. I built in a conversion capsule. So this allows me to take anybody that would be a citizen and make them an employee. So I had 1 spot here to do so. So now I have an employee who doesn't need to go through the same sleep cycle as everybody else, because why should they? They're just here to work for me. But you have like 4 ruins around your headquarters, and then you have to survey those like I just did with these over here. So now you can see above them, they've got these icons. If I click on this one, I can claim it for my influence, and I can either grab the artifacts out of it or take the materials and the waste. I'm going to claim it and then hit salvage. So that's going to go away and become an empty space for us. I'll do the same thing here, claim that one for 10, and I'll get the artifacts from it. And then behind it, there's an inert rune, which means that this is one that can be converted into something. So this is actually going to help us absorb pollution. I've got plenty of artifacts that I've extracted from other places. So I'll claim that one, and then I'll activate this, and that's going to turn into something I would have had to build regardless.
Okay. Is that random on whether ruins can be inert versus ones that
And you can kind of see them, like they have like that red kind of tinge to them. So like that's an inert ruin. These are level 2, or that's level 3. So if I wanted to survey that one, it's going to get me level 3 resources. Over here, this is a mineral patch. If I had expanded out to it, I could just come over here and mine that and get some raw materials that way. The one thing that I'm starting to see over here, there's a node. So like I could mine that eventually. But the one, where was it at? I haven't gone into these yet. There they are. Nope, sorry, that's not it. That's the one. So there's a monument here. And this one's different. It looks like it's going to be something that will generate more influence faster for how I'm doing that. So I haven't messed with this one yet, but that is pretty exciting. And like these crevices, like over here, I want to build out a lot more around my fuel depots, because I'm quickly losing resources on Titan to do it. So that's, in a nutshell, some of the things that we're looking at here to do it. So you've got your defense turret. This is I'm on wave 3. So the first time it was 1 ship, the second time it was 2. It'll be 3 this time. It becomes more of a skirmish where they can set buildings on fire, they can destroy your property, and if they take out the right thing, like a factory, and that drops down our power, then we're going to be in rough shape. Now you can see that my power, based off of what I've built out, it's getting a little low for what I like. So I've got, let's build out, well, I can't do that because we used up all of our energy, our resources. So I need to quickly start to grab more things that can give me minerals until I can figure out a better way to get this mine over here to us, because the mine's still in pretty good health. I've been mining it for a while, and as you can see, I've got a shit ton of minerals here. So I'm just not quite sure why I'm not able to like get the transport. I even upgraded it. I've got more trucks. They're just sitting there parked and everything is connected. So I'm doing something wrong. I even added another one over here. I'm like, well, maybe I need to have a second destination. I don't quite know where the issues coming in here. So I'm a little bummed because I was excited because minerals have been a rarity for me. I was like, okay, cool. I can finally get a node. I'll start to mine that. They'll take care of it. Then I can expand and build more shit because I got some cool ideas on how to do that here, but I'm a little limited right now and I can't even build out more defense turrets. So I'm racing against the clock. I've got
just as a guess, and again, I don't know what I'm talking about. Is it because your mine is in your yellow area instead of your blue area?
Well, the mine itself is here.
Oh, okay.
And so like if I come into it, I can set my target and then they give you like,
I see. Okay. So
I've got the mine, the path of the mine seems to be good because I can't even select that. Like I own this plot, but if I come here, it doesn't even give me the option to grab it. So I know that the roads, like they all look to be connected. Like everything seems to be as it should. I don't know why it would not. So if you're watching this, leave a comment if I haven't figured it out by the time, and we'll take care of that there.
Now, Bobby, let me ask you another question here. I see Rebel threat level. It's been at 25 for a while, and now it went up to 26%. Do you have? Is that on a timer, or is that something of if you expand out further, that's going to go up higher? Or do you have a way to affect that threat level?
So from what I've seen with this, it's stayed pretty much just on its own uptick. It's like a timer that goes down.
Okay.
Because even when I was playing the game at first, there was very little that I was doing that like caused it to spike up. I think it's just a timer, which I appreciate. And that might, it could change. There could be something I'm not quite sure that's impacting it yet at this point in the game. Like if I explore military,
while the council does not actively encourage violence, if you find
she's not telling me anything about why it would be coming. So, and I just need to figure out how to increase this more because a lot of these deliveries that are coming through. So if we watch this for a second, you're going to see that, okay, that's only 7 people. That's great. I mean, it'll help me out, but because of the city, the higher the livability, the more popular the city is to off-world migrants. So it's affected by the number of citizens in your city and their habitability. So I'm not getting a lot of people wanting to come right now. So I need to continue to work on prioritizing building out things to make this a better destination.
Yeah, zoom in on that park. Let's see how it. That looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
Some, neon trees. What more do you want?
Well, apparently they want a better quality of life is what these jerks want. How dare them?
Well, don't we all?
This is Industry of Titan Chase. It is my shit. It's a lot. I would just tell everybody that's like, hey, I'm feeling very overwhelmed by looking at this. Jumping into a quick look of a game that's already like on rails is a hard thing, especially for like, how did you get to this point? Where do I start? The game does a really good job of keeping you on track, and they don't throw more at you than what you can handle. It's really all about just taking it each step at a time, build your level 1 stuff, get a good constant like flow going, and then incrementally build that up. So you can see that something just happened that caused a problem. We lost power somewhere. So now I'm on battery and I don't know why. That's not good. What is impacting our power?
Well, good news. The rebel camp is up to 31%. So
everything is just coming up Millhouse.
Yeah, probably should figure that out before they show up.
Yeah. There is just a few really quick. There's corporate goals. This is what you're using for like the actual campaign. You need to achieve at least a bronze to claim victory. And the other thing that I did not show off that I need to call out, I think that's it. I think we're good there. I showed you how to get your artifacts. I showed you how to get resources going. We looked a little bit at processing. We talked about quality of life. We talked about the military stuff. Yeah, that's it. As my world falls apart here on Titan, we are going to leave this quick look.
Great. Industries of Titan. It is $30 on Steam. It's available for PC only, not even a Mac or a Linux version right now. Maybe those will come eventually. This is a lot. This is intense. This is some intense city building, Bobby.
Yes. Not to be confused with like the more laid back, chilled SteamWorld build that we streamed. Like that seems a little bit more, approachable than maybe what this is. This is an intermediate one for sure. It's a lot. So we'll see how it goes. I've read some reviews that it might peter out a bit in the end, and like they give you a lot of stuff at the front half of the game and maybe not as much at the back half. But I'm really digging it so far. I love the look, the aesthetic, the soundtrack. I like the mix of city and automation. And if you like what we have to say about this game and want to hear us go more in depth on things, we do that every Wednesday night at 10:30 p.m. Central on our Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/casual hour, where we host our podcast, The Casual Hour. And if you want to watch us play games like this, you can do so on Monday and Friday night at that same Twitch channel at 10:30 p.m. Central. And if you like this quick look, which we hope you do, like, subscribe to the channel, let us know what you liked about it in the comments, and we will put new videos up Tuesdays and Thursday mornings. And if you just want to hear us talk about games and not watch anything, every Friday morning you can find our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Bobby. Chase is joining me. This has been a quick look at Industry of Titan. Chase, thanks for hanging out.